You woke up this morning. You remember it. The light through the window, the sound of your alarm, maybe the taste of coffee. You remember yesterday too, and the year before that. A childhood, a face you love, a version of yourself that got you here. But what if none of that happened? Not what if it was a dream? Not what if you're in a simulation? Something stranger. Something that a growing number of serious physicists, not fringe theorists, not conspiracy channels, actual cosmologists working at real institutions, think might be not just possible, but statistically likely. What if you are a brain that assembled itself out of nothing a few seconds ago, floating alone in the vacuum of space, with a complete set of false memories wired into you, and there is no body, no past, no universe outside of this single moment of thought? This is called the Boltzmann Brain problem, and once you understand the math behind it, it's very hard to shake. Let's start with where this idea comes from, because it isn't science fiction. It comes directly out of thermodynamics, the same branch of physics that explains why ice melts and why you can't unscramble an egg. In the late 1800s, a physicist named Ludwig Boltzmann was trying to explain something called entropy, the tendency of systems to move from order to disorder. Your room gets messier over time unless you put in the work to clean it. A hot cup of coffee cools down and never spontaneously heats back up on its own. The universe, as a whole, is doing the same thing on a cosmic scale. It started in a highly ordered, low entropy state, the Big Bang, and it has been sliding toward disorder ever since. Eventually, trillions upon trillions of years from now, physicists believe the universe will reach a state of maximum entropy, a cold, dark, featureless void with no stars, no structure, just empty space and a thin, uniform soup of particles and radiation. Scientists call this heat death. Here's where it gets strange. In a state of maximum entropy, over an unimaginably long span of time, not millions of years, not billions, but stretches of time so vast that our usual units become almost meaningless, quantum fluctuations still occur. Tiny, random shifts in the underlying fabric of that empty space. And if you wait long enough, anything that is not physically forbidden will eventually happen by pure chance. Not likely, not soon, but eventually, given enough time, it becomes mathematically inevitable. That includes things like a hydrogen atom randomly forming out of nothing. It includes, in principle, a star randomly assembling itself for a moment before dissolving back into the void. And on an almost incomprehensibly rarer scale, it includes something far stranger: a complete, functioning human brain, with electrical signals firing, with a structure capable of thought, complete with false memories embedded in its neural architecture, randomly fluctuating into existence out of the quantum chaos. This hypothetical brain is called a Boltzmann brain, named after the man whose thermodynamic work made the idea possible, even though he never proposed the exact scenario himself. And here is the part that should genuinely unsettle you. Physicists who have run the numbers on this have found something deeply counterintuitive. Given the age and expected future lifespan of the universe under most current cosmological models, and given how astronomically improbable it is for an entire orderly universe like ours to form, versus how comparatively easier it is, mathematically, for a single brain to randomly fluctuate into existence in a mostly empty void. The numbers suggest that a randomly assembled Boltzmann brain, floating alone in space for a few fleeting moments before dissolving, is statistically far more common in the total lifespan of the cosmos than a fully evolved, ordered universe like the one we appear to be living in. In other words, if you imagine every conscious observer that will ever exist across the entire, almost endless future of the universe, the overwhelming majority of them, by pure statistical weight, are not going to be people like you, born from stars, from planets, from billions of years of cosmic and biological evolution. They're going to be Boltzmann brains, isolated, momentary, false, So here is the question physicists actually ask each other, seriously, in papers and conferences. If you are a randomly selected conscious observer in the universe, and the overwhelming majority of conscious observers are Boltzmann brains rather than real, evolved beings, statistically, which one are you more likely to be? Sit with that for a second, because the honest answer, mathematically, is unsettling. Now, to be clear, most physicists don't actually believe that you, right now, watching this, are a Boltzmann brain. In fact, this exact paradox is treated in the physics community as a problem, something called the Boltzmann brain problem, because it produces an absurd conclusion. If our best cosmological models predict that random brains should vastly outnumber real observers, but our actual experience feels coherent, structured, and consistent with having a real past, a past we can check against physical evidence, other people's testimonies, and the ordered structure of the world around us, then something is probably wrong with the model, not with reality. This is exactly how scientists use the Boltzmann brain idea, not as proof that you're floating alone in the void with fake memories, but as a stress test. If your theory about the universe predicts something absurd, like you being more likely to be a randomly assembled brain than a real observer, that's usually a sign that the underlying assumptions about the universe's future, its total lifespan, its rate of entropy increase, or the nature of the vacuum itself, need to be re-examined. In other words, the Boltzmann brain isn't a monster hiding in the closet of reality. It's a smoke alarm. It goes off to tell physicists that a piece of the model is broken. But here's why it still gets under your skin. Because even if you, specifically, are not a Boltzmann brain, even if the model needs fixing, the fact that a serious mathematical argument like this can even be constructed says something deeply strange about the relationship between consciousness, memory, and reality. It reveals just how little separates a mind with a coherent history from a mind that simply believes it has one. Think about what a memory actually is, physically. It isn't a recording of the past, like a video file stored somewhere. A memory is a present moment pattern of neural connections, synapses, electrical signals, protein structures in your brain right now. When you remember something from 10 years ago, you are not accessing the past. You are experiencing a physical structure that currently exists in your skull, one that represents a claim about the past. That structure feels identical whether it was formed slowly, over years, through lived experience, or whether, hypothetically, it appeared instantly, fully formed, out of quantum noise, a fraction of a second ago. There is no internal test you could run, no thought, no sensation, no act of introspection that could tell the difference from the inside. A brain with 10 years of real memories and a brain that spontaneously assembled 1 second ago with an identical set of false memories would report, subjectively, the exact same thing. I remember my life. This is what makes the Boltzmann brain thought experiment so much more disturbing than a simple, maybe it's all a dream idea. A dream at least implies a dreamer who exists and will eventually wake up. The Boltzmann brain scenario implies something colder, that the feeling of having a continuous, coherent self built from years of experience requires nothing external at all. It requires no actual years, no actual experience, just the pattern, existing for an instant, convinced entirely of its own history. Some physicists have pointed out that this connects to a much older idea, one physics didn't invent, but keeps rediscovering from different angles. The idea that identity and continuity might be far more fragile or far more constructed than they feel. You feel like a single, continuous person who has lived a whole life. But physically, you are made of matter that is constantly being replaced, powered by a brain running on electrochemical signals that, in principle, could be arranged the exact same way, regardless of how they got there. So, where does this leave us? Most cosmologists today lean toward models of the universe that avoid the Boltzmann brain problem altogether. Models where the far future of the universe doesn't sit in a stable, maximum entropy state forever, but instead keeps evolving, expanding, or eventually experiences some kind of transition that prevents these infinite stretches of random brain assembly time from ever really applying to us. Some researchers argue that if the universe's expansion accelerates forever due to dark energy, this changes the math in ways that make the Boltzmann brain scenario dramatically less likely to dominate. The debate is very much alive in cosmology today, and there is no single settled answer. But the reason this idea refuses to die, the reason it keeps getting written into papers, keeps getting argued about at conferences, keeps surfacing in public science communication decades after it was first proposed, is that it forces a question most people spend their whole lives avoiding. What actually makes your memories, your sense of self, your feeling of having lived a real, continuous life, true? Not comforting, not convincing, true. Physics can't fully answer that question yet, neither can neuroscience. What it can tell you is this: the line between a mind with a real past and a mind that simply believes it has one is thinner, mathematically, than almost anyone is comfortable admitting. You woke up this morning. You remember it. That has to be enough. Because right now, it's the only thing you actually have.